Hello everybody, Gabriella from Tarot Wonderland here. Thank you for joining me for another weekly reading. Before I start, I want to apologize in advance. I'm just getting over a really bad cold and I know my voice is not optimal, so I apologize in advance and bear with me. I'll do the best that I can. I've decided to use the Psychic Tarot by John Holland again this week because our reading last week was so amazing and I really loved reading with those cards. They just really hit me. They really resonated with me, so I wanted to use it again this week. So there's our cards. Let me get right into the reading. So the first thing I want to say before I start is that, as I mentioned in our reading last week, John Holland says that reversals are not meant to be read in this deck, but I do believe they should be noted, and I just want to say that all three of our cards this week came up reversed. So these cards to me are really emphasized as a very powerful message here. And it's quite a different one from the one we got last week, but I think it does relate actually to our reading last week. So here's our first card. It's the Five of Swords, and it's called Conflict and Defeat in this deck. And as you can see in the card, this man, he reminds me of a gladiator. He looks like a Roman gladiator, and he's staggering down these stairs as if he's just been through some battle and he's been wounded, or he's had some great defeat, right? Some great horrible thing has happened to him, and he's had to retreat to this dark place to sort of get some peace and get some rest. And if you'll notice on the wall beside him, there are illustrations of these warriors, these really toned, athletic looking warriors that are going up the stairs. So he's going down the stairs and the other guys are going up. The illustrations of these guys are going up. Okay, so it's like there's this opposite energy going on. The illustrations on the wall seem they're ready to go, they're primed, they're just ready for anything. And he looks the complete opposite. He looks like he is just completely worn out, and he's been beaten, he's struggled, he's gone through some kind of really bad incident. Okay, he's gone through something that's really wounded him, possibly physically, but more so mentally. Okay, now also notice how there is a little candle at the bottom of those steps. That little light there is flickering, and to me what that candle represents is that spark that got us up the stairs in the first place, right? And what I'm really sensing from this card is that there may be an incident this week that you encounter that leaves you feeling defeated, that leaves you feeling like you may have been wounded mentally, okay? Something that really kind of took you by surprise, that you didn't expect, and it really kind of overwhelmed you and left you feeling like you had to retreat to this place where it's quiet, where nobody else is around, but there's still that little spark, there's still that little light burning there, right? So I think this relates back to our reading last week, because I was saying how there was this beautiful harmony with the Lover's card and that Star card, right? This partnership, this union, whatever it was, whether it's a relationship or a job or something. And the sense I'm getting is that this new union that we may have ventured out on, something came up that we didn't expect, and it was like a blow. It was like something we didn't expect, and it's left us feeling like overwhelmed, like we have to retreat, like we've been really beaten, and we feel really not quite sure how to deal with it. So there may be an incident this week that comes up that you didn't expect, that takes you by surprise, and may temporarily make you feel really out of sorts, but it is just temporary. This is a minor arcana card, and it's not going to be forever. So let's move on to card 2. So card 2 is the Nine of Swords, and it is called Suffering in Silence in this deck. So this mental sort of calamity continues, and it's at its peak here, okay? So what this card to me is saying is that Five of Swords situation, this incident that may arise, could lead to you really getting into a bad place. You really getting into a negative mental state where you feel like you are completely alone, like you're completely isolated, like your worries are just accumulating. In the Rider-Waite version of this card, we see a person who's sitting up in bed, and there are swords that are stacked beside them, kind of like, and the swords are the suit of the mind. So it's kind of like worry piled upon stress. It accumulates, and it gets to a point where you're just, really in a bad place, where you may be depressed, you may be anxious, you can't sleep, you have insomnia. And in this card, we see this woman who is by herself on this rock. She's barefoot. The wind is blowing at her. The wind is blowing right at her. And she's looking out into the distance at this sun. It could be either a sunrise or a sunset. I'm getting the sense that it's a sunrise. It's like she's looking at this sunrise as if she desperately wants a new day to happen, but she doesn't feel like it's going to. So I think there's a warning here for us that not to allow whatever incident may arise this week that takes us by surprise, that maybe makes us feel embarrassed or humiliated or like we've been beaten, not to let that overwhelm you and get you into a negative state that will just put you in this place. Because once you're here, once you're in this Nine of Swords situation, it's really oppressive. It's really not a pleasant place to be. You don't want to get here. It may not feel that easy for you to think positive right now, but at least be neutral. At least leave yourself open to the idea that things are going to get better, and they will. This is another minor arcana card. So this is a situation that is going to be challenging. It's going to be challenging for some of us. It's going to feel difficult. It's going to feel painful. But if you just ride the wave and try not to allow your emotions to overwhelm you, and stay grounded, stay positive as much as you can, it's gonna get better. It's gonna improve. But you don't want to get into this state where you're here for a long time. So let's move on to card 3. So card 3, we have another major arcana, and we are right at the beginning of the major arcana with 0, new beginnings it's called in this deck, but this would be the Fool card. So I think this is why I said I believe this reading relates to our reading last week about a new venture, a new partnership, a union that you've just started. The Fool card represents the Fool's journey. All the cards of the major arcana in the tarot are aspects of the Fool's journey. It goes from 0 to 21, the world, the completion stage. And here you're right at the beginning. You're just starting something new. And the Fool energy is very, very optimistic. It's very idealistic. It's very energetic. It's very adventurous. It's very beautiful. But it's also very immature. It's also very undeveloped. And even childlike, okay? It can be like childlike innocence or, childlike faith in something. And we learn by hard knocks. We learn by our mistakes, right? So what this card is saying to me is it's relating to this new venture that we've started. We've embarked on something completely new, and I think what the other Swords cards are saying is that something happens that kind of gives us our first taste of failure or our first taste of, challenge that's difficult to deal with. Very often we start a new project or a new relationship thinking, everything's rosy, everything's beautiful, I've got all this energy, and everything is going to be wonderful and it's going to go smoothly, and then we hit a snag, right? Then we hit our first challenge along the way, which is always going to happen. There's always going to be obstacles and there's always going to be challenges, and it's all in the way that we deal with them, right? So I think what this card is saying is that you are at the beginning of something. You've started something new with a lot of energy, with a lot of faith, with a lot of plans. You've got a lot of goals and you've got a vision, and that is what has started you out on this journey. And you have to keep that original spark, that original fire that got you here, that got you started, to keep you going through these little challenges that may arise. Okay, so let me show you all 3 cards and I will sum this up. So there are a couple of interpretations here. I'm going to go back to what I was just saying for version 1, which is you have embarked on some kind of new thing, whether it is a relationship, whether it is a job, something that you have started with a lot of passion and a lot of energy and a lot of optimism. Okay, you started this out thinking that everything was going to go like exactly the way you had pictured, and now this week you encounter something that challenges you, that kind of knocks you down a peg, that may make you feel embarrassed or humiliated, like you have to hide. Like this guy is going down the stairs like he wants to hide. He doesn't want people to see him in his defeat, right? So it can be, these kind of things can be embarrassing. Maybe if you start a new job and you make a mistake and you feel really foolish, right? You feel really dumb and, everybody's judging you and nobody does. It's like when you start something new, mistakes are going to happen. It's a learning process. You can't start perfect. You have to grow and you have to learn and you have to evolve. And what this reading is saying to me is that something happens here. Something may happen this week that really kind of makes you feel like, oh, I'm not as smart as I thought I was, or I didn't really expect this, and now I'm feeling really, really bad about myself. I'm feeling really, really depressed and down, and like maybe I made a mistake. That's the Nine of Swords, right? It's like the thoughts just accumulating, you know, over and over again, like you kind of berating yourself and putting yourself down, and you know, just negative thoughts, negative thought after negative thought. You really don't want to get into that place. This is minor arcana stuff, you guys. This is a minor thing. It's a minor blip, a minor snag. Do not let this put you off this great new venture that you started, whatever it is, okay, whatever mode it's in. So that is one really strong impression I'm getting from this reading. Now, another one that's kind of, I think it's going to be applied to less people, but another sense I'm getting here is that there may be a situation, and I'm sensing it could be a relationship here, where it's a long-term relationship, and you've been with this person for a really long time, and they have wounded you over and over again, okay? And you may not have spoken up about it. You may have kept all your hurt to yourself, and you've really suffered in silence about it. You have gone through a really difficult time in this relationship, and it's wounded you, and it happens over and over again, and you feel like you're stuck in this cycle and you can't get out of it. Well, one of the things this reading could be saying to you is that you need to embark on a new beginning. You need to start over. You need to turn your back on this, and only you will know if this is right for you. Okay, I'm not telling you to do that. I'm just saying if you're in a situation where it doesn't have to be a relationship. It could be a job as well. It could be a friendship. Anything that feels like it's not improving, like the same crap keeps happening over and over and over again, and you feel you're sick of it. You're sick of all this mental stuff that this stuff brings on for you. So this reading could be telling you need to think about starting anew and moving on, even though it may feel scary and you may not feel like you know what's ahead of you or whatever. It needs to happen, because if this just keeps happening over and over again, you're not going to be in a good place. Okay, so that could be another interpretation I'm getting here, but I'm getting for most of us this week, the message here from this reading is that do not let minor setbacks and temporary downers get you down too much, okay, about this new thing that you've embarked upon, because it's that energy from our reading last week was so amazing. Don't turn your back on it, and don't bow out, okay? Just stay in the game. This is going to get better. It's just a temporary thing, okay? So I hope that helped you guys. I hope it resonated with those of you who are listening, and that it helped you. Thank you very much for watching, you guys. If you would like to order a personal private reading with me, I will put the link to my website in the description box below. Also, the link to my Facebook page is there. Please give my Facebook page a like. It's a lot of fun. I do daily card draws on that page. Please like and share the video if you did like the video. And thanks very much for watching. I apologize again for my voice. I'm struggling here a little bit, but I had to get this reading out. Wanted to get this reading out to you guys. So I will see you on Wednesday for our You Pick the Card. Have a wonderful week, you guys. Hang in there. It's not the end of the world. It's just a minor setback. Okay, bye for now. Don't forget to subscribe. Make sure to click the bell to the right of the subscribe button so that you don't miss any future videos. Like my Facebook page. Please like and share if you enjoyed the video. And if you'd like to order a personal reading with me, please visit my website at tarotwonderland.com. All links are below the video. Thank you for watching.